Rise and shine, everyone. Welcome to part 3 of the Emotional Terrorizer. Ten signs you were raised by an emotional terrorizer. So today we're going to be talking about how the cycle starts. All of us are born emotional terrorizers, so we don't have to worry about if you're raising an emotional terrorizer. Okay. We don't have to worry about if you're raising an emotional terrorizer. All children are that, as they communicate using their emotions, and they know no other way. They don't know any other language, so they cut tantrums. They lash out. They throw things. They pout. They whine. They cry. They scream. They kick. They try to communicate with you using their body language. Right. Hope everybody's doing amazing today. I'm going to be showing you guys a few different examples. Again, like I said, 10 signs that you were raised by an emotional terrorizer. That your parent was one. That your grandparent was one. That your aunts, your uncles. About to really find some. Listen, guys, I'm not trying to stir up any triggers for you guys today or traumas, but I want you guys to definitely be contributing to this. Okay, so comment, let us know if you've ever been through things like this, if you've ever experienced this, because this could be why you duplicate some of these behaviors in the home, okay, in your relationships, whenever you are going through contentious moments with your peers. Anytime you're in a frustrated moment, this is why the worst comes out of you in the same way. You're probably raised like that. Okay, now a lot of people like to make an emotional terrorizer evil when they emotionally terrorize, but they actually are not being evil in the moment. They're being hurt, or they're being upset, or they're angry at the time. So what comes out of them is something totally different than what you can label as evil. You understand? It's just who they are at the time. Someone says, I'm dealing with a person like that. Okay. Well, we're going to definitely get into it so you can be able to pinpoint this. All of you guys can be able to pinpoint this a little better. So if you guys have caught the last two videos that I've done on emotional terrorizer, and I've been getting, like I said, so many messages and feedback from that you guys are loving that and learning a lot from it, being challenged by it. A lot of you guys said you could see yourselves in it, and we've talked about how we treat each other and how we treat our partners and how your friends may act. But today we're going to be talking about how your parents were. Okay. So before we get started, if you believe that you were raised by an emotional terrorizer, put a 1 in the chat. If you believe you were raised by an emotional terrorizer, put a 1 in the chat. If you are unsure, but it could be possible and you wonder, put a 2. And if you're absolutely sure you were not raised by an emotional terrorizer, put a 3. I just want to see where you guys stand right now. Just based on some of the things I've told you guys about emotional terrorizers do, which is lead with their emotions, not logic. Lead out of their moods, whether they're good or bad, ugly, and that's who they're going to be. They're going to be a different person based on what mood they're in. If you believe you had that, put a 1. If you are unsure, put a 2. If you're certain you did not have a parent like that, put a 3. I'm seeing you guys responding. Thank you. Three, 2. LaQuincia says 3. Jackie says 3. Brittany says 3. Jeanette 3. JRA 3. Angie 3. 2 says Jeanette. So a lot of you guys are saying unsure and no, absolutely not. I might be 1. Oh Lord, Mia says 2. I did see some 1s though. I thought 1. I am certain. L says that good guy 1. Caller 1. Money boy films 1. I don't know why, but I think the music is throwing me off. I'm going to turn it off for right now. So yes, I see a lot of 1s at first. Then we got some 2s and 3s. So a lot of you guys are okay. Caller Gibbons says 1. Michael Blackman says 3. Patricia Gum says 3. Okay, guys. So we're going to get into it. Okay. Now, if your answers begin to change, just let us know. Okay. And again, this is not for us to judge our parents today. It's to learn more about ourselves. Our parents are us in the past. We are our parents in the future. We are the future version of our parents. The only way our parents, our grandparents, our ancestors can get into the future is through us, family. All right. So we're not going to step to them with any ego and judge them today. We are just going to learn from ourselves in the past. Okay. We don't know what they went through that caused them to raise us the way they raised us. Okay. So this is not to point fingers at them and say, look at how you raised me. As children, family, we are supposed to sharpen all the things that our parents give us. Okay. So whatever they teach us, we are supposed to sharpen that. We're supposed to go out and come back and make it a little bit better for our children. Okay. And this is how you pass the baton on. So what we're going to do is examine how our parents raised us and see if we can't sharpen that today. See if we can't look back at that and say, okay, this may have not been conducive to creating healthy children, to actually function in society. This may have not been, okay? This may have just been a teaching tactic that we learned at the time, but it may not be productive, right? So let's get into it, family. All right. Let's do this. 10 signs that you were raised by an emotional terrorist, okay? An emotional terrorizer. Threats of violence, okay? Now, when you're being raised, of course, when you're raising children, family, you do have to discipline your children. But I think a lot of us in our communities have forgotten what discipline means. We believe discipline is punishment, the thing you do to someone when they make a mistake, when they do something wrong. You do this thing to them that causes them to learn their lesson, right? Punishment. And discipline for us looks like hitting, insulting, grounding, things like that, right? Punitive treatment based on the thing that you did. Now, what I try to raise or teach parents to understand is discipline is not punishment, okay? Discipline is structure, family. Do you understand? If a bodybuilder or a person wants to get in shape, discipline is what they do every single day to be able to accomplish that, okay? So what a lot of times we have it mistaken in our communities. We don't discipline our children. We punish our children. So we don't discipline them, which is provide structure, an everyday thing that they do to make them better. We don't have that in place for them. Do you understand? So there is no discipline. There is a punishment when they mess up, but there is no discipline. So we say, now I have to discipline you because you made a bad grade in school. The discipline was studying every single day. You see what I'm saying? If that was the discipline, they probably wouldn't have failed in school. They would have known the work. They wouldn't have been afraid of it. You understand? Are you guys understanding what I mean? The discipline is what sharpens the skills that makes you great. What is your discipline? What's the thing that you do every single day to make yourself better and more mature and great? It's more sharp, right? Not what happened to you whenever you did something bad. I got disciplined. Okay? Is this making sense, family? So again, threats of violence is one of the many ways that parents will discipline or keep you in line. It's not really a way of discipline, but it's to give you a threat that violence is an option. You understand, to get you in line. And this builds fear in a child because they believe whatever that parent tells them. Now, you may have had a parent who used threats of violence, but then you may have had a parent who used threats of violence way to the next level. Like, I'll knock your head clean off of your shoulders, right? I will knock you into next week, right? I will knock your head off and it'll land in your daddy's lap since he'll never come and see you anyway, right? Like, I don't know if you guys have ever had stuff like this said to you, right? I'll slap your face clean off and it'll slide up under that washing machine over there, right? I'll hit you in the head with this dish, right? Do you guys understand? Like, you might be saying, well, that's just nothing. That's just a parent talking. No, that's a parent talking to a child, family. And a child believes whatever that parent says. They have no understanding. You will create a fearful child. And then you wonder why they're getting punked in school. Because you're teaching them to move by fear. Do you understand? The more you do that, the more susceptible they are to that. So whenever they go to school and someone else is threatening them and talking to them like that, then they're not going to know how to handle that. They're going to just go with the flow. And you're wondering why they allow that. Is this making sense? So if you had parents who, instead of talking to you about your behavior, They instead threaten you. If you do this again, I'm going to do this, instead of talking to you about who you were and what you were thinking at that moment. See, dealing with you in that moment, family, is what was you thinking? Why did you do that? And for a child, this is a very uncomfortable conversation on telling you why they did that. Think about this as adults. How difficult is it for us to be accountable? We'd rather insult somebody and call them out their name when they're just talking about our behavior. Look at how people treat me. All I do is talk about the behaviors that we put out and look at the responses they have back from me. I'm stupid, I'm gay, I'm ugly, I'm retarded. It's nothing about what I'm actually saying. There's no actual real thing they're saying to me, because it hurts when people are challenging you against your own behavior. So when you as a parent is talking to your child about their behavior, be strict to that behavior. Get them to look at it. Get them to focus on that behavior. Get them to express who they were at the moment that they did it. Get them to explain why they did it and what they thought the best. I mean, if they thought that was going to be productive going forward, and how. And I'm serious, guys. When you do this, your children become more aware of the decisions they make before they make them, instead of just a whooping happens. I don't want to get a whooping. Now I don't want to do this because I don't want mama to hit me. I don't want daddy to hit me. I don't want to do this because it causes a breakdown with my peers. People may not like me in the future. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to take this because it's not just because I'll get a whooping. It's because it's not mine and somebody's going to be looking for it, and somebody else worked to earn this. You see what I'm saying, guys? And it creates a habit inside of me that causes me to keep stealing, keep taking that's not mine. It creates a laziness inside of me to where I won't work to earn my own. You talk to your children about why stealing is bad, not just you're going to go to jail for that. It's a punishment for that. No, why is stealing ultimately bad, family? Why are you even in a position to need to steal? If you were focusing on yourself and doing the right things daily to make yourself a better person, you would probably have and wouldn't be in a position to have your hand out. So a thief is already in a position to steal because he's been lazy and manifesting his own life and destiny. You understand? You have to know you're raising a soldier or a king or a princess or a queen, not some knucklehead like we call our children. You understand, family? So that was number one. Did your parents use threats of violence when trying to raise you? Okay. Number two, okay, use fear as a means to control you. Okay. Did your parents use fear as a means to control you? And I know you just said, well, Kevin, that's threats of violence. But now you're saying, now you're asking if they use fear. Yeah, I mean, did they? Where? Hey, let's start looking around for a belt. You know what I'm talking about. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like looking for something with haste, like they about to get something and go upside of your head with it. You understand? Look at you like they about to hit you upside of your head, right? I don't care if you get big as a house, I'll still take you down. I brought you in this world, I'll take you out. Did they use fear to control you? If you ask them a question about why they treated you a certain way, shut up before I hit you again. Shut up before I give you something to cry about. You don't get to ask me questions. They use fear to control you. Fear. And this is one of the reasons why your voice may yell, why you may act a certain way whenever you feel like your ego is being threatened or you're being disrespected. This is why you try to do something that causes fear inside of the person you're dealing with, because you were taught to communicate in this way. Do you understand what I'm saying, family? So it becomes a cycle. We're learning from our parents. They're our first teachers. This is why I'm asking you, did they do these things? Because these are things that we do. Okay, family? 3, did they believe they owed no excuse for their actions? Now, this is a good one because this is going to let us know a lot. Are you the type of parent on here today who believe you owe no excuse for your actions, or no explanation, I should say? You owe no explanations for when you hurt your child's feeling, when you whip them or you punish them and you were in the wrong. They were actually innocent. You were actually just in a bad mood and you overreacted. You were the one who was out of line. Do you as a parent say, I'm sorry? Or do you feel that you don't owe it to your child at all? How do you as a parent treat your child? Because if you do this to your child remains in a broken state. You don't listen to them. They're unheard. This makes them feel unloved. This makes them feel unvaluable because you don't feel you owe them any explanation. I promise you guys, they'll go through life likely letting people run over them. They'll likely be afraid to confront people about wrongs that have been done to them. A lot of us as parents feel like we don't have to say sorry, that sorry somehow is the worst thing we could ever say. You can be wrong as a parent. You know, that's one of the things we need to understand. As parents, we can be wrong. Just because we're older than them does not mean that we know it all. Does not mean that we're never wrong. Does this make sense? Now, guys, I want you to pay close attention to all the people who can't stay on topic and they're just insulting. I'm probably all over their toes. Okay. This is not to insult you, though. If you can take this advice and apply it, I promise you, you have a healthier, harmonic home in the future, family. Okay. I'm just trying to show you how to not recreate these cycles in your children. Someone says, yes, it's me. Says, when I'm out of line, I am quick to say I'm sorry and explain. I allowed things to overwhelm me, so we are here. Thank you, because your children really do need it. And they need to know that you make mistakes as well, that you are aware that you make mistakes. If they have a parent, because those children know you making mistakes, they know when they're wrong, they can feel it internally. You think that your social, whatever you're about to say to them, because you've been in the world longer, is going to make them feel like whatever you just did was okay. They may play dumb, but whatever they feel inside of them is what's going to be the truth. You understand? So when they have a parent who did this thing to them or spoke to them in this way or said this thing to them, okay, that will not acknowledge it, it seems that you just don't know you're wrong. And that's even more dangerous because they got to deal with you every day now. You understand? You always have to explain. I mean, and you do, family. Okay. Now let's go. Punishments were worsened when they were in a bad mood. It was not simple rules. The structure wasn't every day the same. If your parents, grandparents, whoever was your guardian, whoever was watching over you, you knew when they were having a bad day. You knew when it was going to be hell to pay in that household. You knew it, family. Okay? The things that was okay yesterday, don't even try it today. Okay? So now talking in the house, walking in the house, going outside, opening a window, breathing, right? Now walking is walking loud. Now talking is talking loud. Now opening the door is messing up the light bill. Now breathing is doing something else, right? Because they're in a bad mood. And sometimes they'll walk in the room and tell you, man, like, don't try me today. Today ain't the day. I wish one of you kids would try something today. Oh, I want to whoop a kid today. Do you understand how this creates like a terrorizer for children, like a Gargamel and their Smurfs? Like they are afraid to see you coming. They don't know who you are from one day to the next because they ain't did shit to you. The parents have it. The children have it. They haven't done anything to you. And here comes mama and daddy already mad about who knows what. Who knows what? And this child is sitting here with nobody to talk to. You're their matriarch or patriarch. You're their God. And this giant stomping through the house already mad. And the child certainly doesn't have the tools to calm you down, to give you therapy, to help you regulate your emotions. That parent is a result of their upbringing, of their awareness. And if they don't meditate, if they don't do that type of stuff, then the child is going to have to deal with that person. So when you don't make yourself a better person, everybody around you got to pay for that. Do you guys understand? So when a child grows up seeing that, can you not see how they learn subconsciously how to tiptoe around people, how to watch another person's actions, engage who they're going to be that day, because they know how to kind of dodge you, a landmine. You know what I mean? Because that parent can be a loose cannon. Do you understand? And they're not going to apologize. And if whatever they're mad about that day, whatever you did is worthy of them being that mad, even if they was already in a bad mood. You get punished worse because they got madder when you did it. You understand? Many of you guys can say my worst punishments was linked to when my parents were the maddest. They had anger when dealing with me. They were moody. Some days you couldn't even talk to them, or they had an attitude, a damn attitude. Couldn't even talk to mama without us getting smart all the time. Couldn't even talk to daddy without him having an attitude. Just mean, downright mean. Right? And then these are your parents' family. Okay? That's 4. 5, they held grudges. How many of you upset your parents and they beat your tail, grounded you, you come back to them, you trying to apologize to them still because they still won't talk to you. They treating you like shit, won't even barely talk to you, and they already punished you. They already whooped you. They already said what they had to say to you. And they're still mad. They're mad at you. Like they're holding a grudge against you. They're not in the parenting position and giving you structure, providing a child structure with their emotions removed from it. They're completely invested and they're holding you hostage to the mistake you just made. Like they're mad at you. They're not nice to you anymore. They're literally mad at you. And now you have to earn their love. Okay? Kept in attitude, Monique says. My mom kept in attitude. How many of you as parents hold grudges? Make your so the child can still feel guilty. Like you already whooped them. You already did what you was going to do. You already said it. You already grounded them. Now you got a whole attitude still because you're mad. Mad about what they did. You still mad. You're in your ego. Can't believe they did that. Got a whole attitude with your kid. Do you understand, family? This is a parent who can't regulate their own energy. When they feel anger, they just gonna have to deal with anger for a long time because they don't know how to get rid of anger without having a punching bag to put that energy into. And that often becomes their children. Does this make sense? When they punish you and say what they got to say, they keep on talking and beat you into a corner to the point to where the child almost has to say something smart back, has to pop their lips or do something that the parent finds disrespectful because the parent just don't know when to quit. And you're provoking your children to wrath, and then you're calling your children disrespectful. When really, if you're not somebody who can be punked like that and treated like that, not even by your own parents or anybody, why would your child be that way? So now when your child won't take that abuse and they snap back and say something, what you say? What you say? In the first little while, the child doesn't respond. They won't repeat it. But then they start to repeat it. Right? I can't never do nothing right. What you say? I said, I can't never do nothing right. See, first they didn't repeat it. But it's like sometimes us as parents, we don't know when to damn quit. We done told them the issue, and then we just keep going on. So that's your problem right there. And you always do this, and every time, just sitting here beating your kid up. Who you think they're going to be in life? They're going to go be somebody who don't know when to quit. Just because you're still angry don't mean I'm going to keep dumping. It's shaming. You're guilting the child. You're making them feel worse about themselves. When really talk about the behavior, why it was counterproductive. Okay. What needs to be done so that the behavior does not happen again. Okay. How to repair the people who you've done the behavior to, the work that needs to be done to restore. And then get on. The next time your son or daughter comes to talk to you is, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. What can I do for you? It's not, I'm still mad at you from earlier. This cannot be how we parent, family. We're going to mess these kids up, family. All right. Now, this is 6. I said held grudges. The next one is will actually get mad at you. Well, like you can tell when your parent is disciplining you that they are mad at you. Like it's a fight. When they whooping you, they're not punishing you. They're fighting you. They're mad at you. Like when a parent punishes a child, it's more like it's going to hurt me more than it hurts you. I hate to have to do this to you. I am not angry at you for fighting that kid at school or insulting that kid at school. I have to deal with the behavior though. So I love you, but I'm dealing with the behavior. Okay. That's how a parent's supposed to address their child. What are you mad at a little child for, a kid for? So you got to think about your mental, emotional level. You're literally mad at the kid, angry at the kid. You're too emotionally invested in a child. Okay. You're putting your adult mind in the child. It's so to the point to where you think they should behave like you and know and have all the things you know already, when this child doesn't know what you know already. So you should have patience when dealing with a child because you know more than them, right? You know they're a child. But a lot of these parents will get angry at their child. Okay. And this is why they will hold grudges. They get mad at the child. It's way different, family. It's not like from the outside looking in, I got to take care, I got to discipline you at the same time, love you and teach you. It's actually more like I'm mad at you, man. Okay. They're too emotionally invested. They're making sense. 7, insult you. Okay. This happened last night to my daughter and I speak it. See, there you go. I'm so glad you guys are being honest. This is not the judges, family. We all do this type stuff. The key is to recognize it when we're doing it. Thank you guys so much for your honesty. This isn't about destroying anybody. It's about correcting the problems in our community. Okay. Did they insult you when they were upset? Did your parents or your predecessors insult you when they were upset? Did they just talk to you about your actions, or did they call you stupid, hard-headed, okay, professor, know-it-all, right? You think you smart. That's your problem, right? I'm live on YouTube and Facebook and another Facebook page, Kishvan. So I'm live on, should be 3 pages right now. Okay. Yes, multiple streams. Sure, Nana. You can ask a question. So do they insult you, family? Okay. You got called all the names in the book when they was upset with you. What name? That nappy-headed, dark-skinned, blackie. Some parents were just cruel, yo. Some parents were very cruel. What names were you called? What's some names that your family called, family? What's some names that they said that they would call you when they were upset? Clutch said dysfunctional people will always return to the lowest common denominator. They can't help it. Okay, family. When they get upset and they lose awareness and they go back to who they were, who they are in their core, and we have to work on those core things. That's why I call it shadow work and meditation. You got to do that inner work, because if you try to, you can't wait till you in the moment and try to just be a better person. We like kind of like proclaim we're a better person without the work to become a better person. Does that make sense? Whenever I say I would never act like that. I'd never do that. And then when you're in a situation, you realize that you are a little different than you thought you were, because we love to believe we're a better person than we are. And then when we're in the situation, the way we react is just who we are. People like to judge that and say who you were in that moment, but it's really just the lack of working on self. Okay, so it was a revelation to everybody. Half the time, the person who we call an asshole, they just found out they was an asshole too. The person that we're calling a coward, they just found out they were a coward too. They did not know they were going to react that way under pressure. None of us do. So we got to work on that stuff, because that's what exposes you. That's what exposes who you are at your core. Okay. So I talked about parents insulting you, right? Let's see. Did they emotionally manipulate? Okay. Did they emotionally manipulate? So while you guys are thinking on that one, someone says, do you think God is okay with 2 wives? Is this in the new Bible? I'm asking for the world. Let's see. We want to make sure people speaking the truth when they speak on God's name. So Nana, what you'd have to do is you'd have to first, if you want to know if God is okay with something, you'd first have to say who you believe God is. This is something that it's a big world. Okay, so if you believe in the Bible as the word of God, then your God is 100% okay with men having multiple wives, as God gives men wives. Read your Bible and you will see that God gave David Saul's wives. Okay, when he made him king. In fact, when David started messing around with Delilah, and I'm saying Delilah, that's Samson and Delilah. Sorry, when he started messing around with what's her name's wife? What's her name? Y'all know who she is, Bathsheba, and he cheated with her and got her pregnant. God said, "Why would you do that? I gave you all of Saul's wives, and I would have gave you even more had you asked for it." So God has given men multiple wives, even other people's wives. So I know you guys have this warped view of what you think that God wants. Is that in the new Bible? No, Nana, that's your current Bible. It's the Bible. Okay, family. You guys just have to read that. And I'm wondering if you guys will ask me questions about your Bible before you guys will read your Bible yourself, because I could be lying to y'all. I could be lying to y'all about what y'all Bible say. Okay, so it's very important that y'all learn to read your own Bible, so y'all don't have to ask me what your Bible says. Also, I can't tell you something's in your Bible when it's not. But yeah, go read that story between David and Samuel and Saul, and you will see that Saul's wives are given to David once he becomes king. Anyway, guys, do they emotionally manipulate? Many of you guys know how parents will try to get on your good side when they want something out of you, when they want something that you have. They won't just ask a question. They will play on your emotions, and you'll play on theirs. But see, here's the thing, family. You guys are born emotional terrorizers, so you will try to suck up to your parents to get over it, so you can spend the night with your friends, or so they can give you that allowance, so they can let you go to that movie. You'll try to do all these little nice things to butter them up, like they call it, right? But do they butter you up? Do they manipulate you? Think about this, family. Think about it. Because this may be why you do the same thing with people. And what happens is people begin to feel used. That relationship you might have with your parents and stuff, that stuff is okay. But other people begin to feel used. You butter a woman up, she's going to say you used her. You say a whole bunch of sweet nothings and make her feel good about herself just so you can get what you want from her. She's going to say you played her and dogged her out. You understand? If you do the same thing with a man and do it the same way, he's going to say you played him and used him. You understand? So things need to be genuine. Do you understand? Say what it is you want. Don't try and manipulate it out of a person. Does this make sense, family? People are not robots, okay? You just got to say what you need from them. See if they'll give that, because you don't want to be sitting here trying to trick somebody out of something, guys, okay? Did they call around and tell other people, family members, your faults? Soon as you've done something that your parents didn't like, say they whoop you. Now you're in the room and you can hear your parents on the phone with your auntie, your uncles, your cousins, whoever, telling what you did. I mean, they already took care of the business, right? It could have stayed in-house, but they on the phone. Guess what he done did now? Guess what she done did now? Girl, I done walked in the damn what's her name, and she in there washing dishes, and she done got water all over the damn floor. She don't pay attention to shit she doing. You hear me? The girl is just as dumb as it get. You understand me? Other family on the phone. Girl, I know. Like, man, you're going to destroy that little girl. You're going to destroy her. You're going to destroy her. I'm telling you, family. I feel like between parents and children, there needs to be this type of relationship that is so safe. This is the first person that you can trust with all of your secrets. It's the first person that you can trust with all of your failures and faults, man. They change your ass, yo. They change your diaper. They've seen you. They smelt your shit. This person you're supposed to be able to trust. Now, if this person starts now going and telling everybody your bullshit, going and telling everybody where you failed, now all of a sudden you start to lose trust in them, right? You start to believe that they don't really like you, that they don't really love you, that they're not really proud of you, because they're going around behind your back talking about you. When you walk in and hear your name being mentioned, it's negative. And they're talking about the thing you did that was bad. They're not uplifting you. You see what I'm saying? And believe me, what they're making of it is because their mind is toxic. Okay, she had some water on the floor. At least she's in there trying to do chores. You can teach her on how not to spill water in the floor. But if you make it, girl, she's just as messy as I don't know. The girl's a little girl. How about just need to show her how to run the water in the sink, and just had to show her how not to spill the water in the world. But she's doing good. She in there trying to. You should have saw that girl. She was in there using that. She was using a little bit too much soap. Too much suds was in there. You know, not done wasted all my dishwashing liquid. I just got to show her how to manage the soap and everything like that. But if you was in there with her, that wouldn't have been happening. So it's almost like, yo, let me just treat you bad when you don't meet my expectations, and then somehow tell you you wrong, and then justify that by adding all this fuel to the fire, right? And I promise you guys, when you do your children like that, constantly look for ways to convince them that they're bad or no good or failing. You're making it up, family. And now they got to ask for water being on the floor. And a lot of you guys, y'all beat ass. That's why I keep on saying whooping and whooping and whooping, because you know, I guess maybe I was projecting too, because I grew up getting my ass beat. Oh no, maybe it's just me. We got whooping for every dang thing. I'm gonna come in and sit down. I'll be learning over here. I appreciate that, Sabrina. You're right, April. It seems they can't focus on the information without focusing on the messenger. I'm sorry, I'm so distracting that me on my life is so distracting that you guys can't hear what I have to say. You want to know more about me. But I'm trying to teach you on emotional terrorism, because believe me, that is way more important than who I am today. What I'm saying today is way more important than who I am. And if you take some of the things that I'm saying to you back into your household and apply it to how you raise your children, you'll thank me for this stuff, guys. I'm telling you guys. I put a lot of time and research into this, and I'm telling you, I'm on to something. This is what has been destroying our families, y'all. This is why we don't have unity. By the time we grow up, we don't even hardly like our parents no more. We don't even hardly like our aunts and uncles, because they done talk so much shit to us. And they wonder why we don't come around. They wonder why we don't want to come around and see them, and why we don't check on them, and why we won't take care of them, and instead put them in homes. And they don't know we still dealing with half that shit they done said to us, that we still bitter about it, still mad about it, still hurt over it, still have a hard time seeing who we are and loving ourselves because of the shit they said to us when we were kids, yo. And they said this shit not even thinking, not even caring about it. And you got to think, worse has been said to them. Worse. They probably was trying to do better than their parents. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they didn't mean to raise you and fuck you up like that. But a lot of us, man, we're grown now, still needing therapy over the way they were talking to us as children. And you got to think, what type of adults talks to a child that way? Do you understand, family? You got to think, family, like, I come from a family where I could see like grown adults bullying children, like having an enemy in a child. Okay. Soon as they come in the house, they find you to talk shit to. They say, they tell you who you are. You look sneaky, right? They project on you. And if you look sneaky, then you must be sneaky. Because if you look sneaky, you got your ass whooped for stealing, even when you didn't steal. Because they lived in their own bullshit anger, their own bullshit assumptions about you. And it had to be true. And it's like they're shaping who you gonna be with their own fucked up visuals of the world. Like, whatever goes on in their mind, they're toxic as hell. You look at a little girl and say she fast because she developing. You call her fast. You tell this little girl she's hot, like she's sweet, and like she's fast, like she's loose, because she's developing a shape. This little girl ain't got an idea on what sex is, right? But these grown adults don't have a clue on how to raise children. So what they do is, instead of raising a little girl to understand what's happening to her body, they tell her she's at fault, that man looked at her. They tell her she's at fault. You fast. If you wasn't so hot in the tail, if you wasn't. Those same aunts and uncles. Now, you sit here as a child wondering, how can your aunt, uncle, cousin, whoever talk to you like this older adult that you believe in and trusting? How can they speak so much death and evil into you like that? Like, you're a child. You think when someone sees a child that they hold back that stuff. They don't say that type stuff. You know what I mean? But many of you guys grew up with that. And now when you go back home for Thanksgiving, and you go back home for the holidays, and you see that family member who you know talked to you that way, who you know said the worst shit in the world to you, who think that you forgot it because you don't talk about it. They think you forgot it, but you don't forget that stuff. And in the back of your mind, you're still sitting here looking at them like, for you to even look at a child and say that is messed up. So it's like, how can I respect you? How can I respect you as a human being, as a person, when I know how you treat children when nobody else is around? When I know that you will look at a child and tell a child they'll never be anything. I know you will look at a child and tell a child they ain't shit. I know you will look at a child and tell a child they might as well just rob a bank today because they ain't gonna be shit anyway. And they know you will do that because you did it to them when they was children. They know you will look at a little girl and say, you nappy head. We know you will look at a little girl and tell her she ugly. We know you would look at a little girl and tell her that because you looked at her and said that shit. And now you out there like, yo, come here, give me a hug. Like they don't know how fucked up you are. And then you wonder why these people don't want to forgive you and come home. They don't want to come home. They don't want to come home and be around you. They don't want to introduce their child to you. They mad at you. They don't talk about it. They don't share that with the family because it's frowned upon. Don't talk about your elder. She was just trying, so now they fucked up, can't get no therapy for it with the family. They know that the parent ain't gonna be accountable because they raised to believe they can't do no wrong. They're not gonna apologize, and they're not gonna start it off and say, you know what, I know I said some things to you when you was younger. I'm not sure if you remember, but I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I was going through something. I was messed up. And I said a lot and did a lot of things to you. And you don't talk about it. I don't know if you remember. They don't never come back to you with that type shit. I think they run from it in their mind because they don't want to remember and they don't want you to either. And they just hope to never have to deal with it. People hate accountability, man. I'm telling you, yo. So you got to think with all of that, some of that stuff leaks out on how you raise your children, okay? And that was just 9, okay? Did they call around and tell your faults? They call around and make you feel worse by telling what you just did, okay? Now when people come to the house, they talking about what you just did and they weren't even there. And the thing that they saying you did, you probably didn't even do. I know such and such the one that ate them damn cookies. I know that the one did it with his stole sneaky looking ass. I know he did it. Now all the cousins think that one cousin steal because the aunt got it in for that one cousin and think they look like a thief. Do you understand what I'm saying, family? So you got a child fighting for who they are, trying to prove who they are to you, because you done told them that they were somebody else. Maybe you had a man in your life who you convinced that child that he was going to be just like that man. Maybe you had a woman in your life that you tried to convince that child it was going to be just like that woman who you didn't like. That child didn't do nothing to you. You're projected and you're going to break them. So we got to stop that, family. Number 10, constantly remind you of your failures. Did they constantly remind you of your failures? As soon as you say you want to be something in life, they remind you of who you've been opposite to that. Oh, I want to be this. I don't know, man. The way you don't be doing your homework and stuff right now, I doubt if you're going to be anything, to be honest with you. I'm talking about this is how they do that. This is how they do that. As soon as you mention something you want to do, I'm gonna start my own business. Not with the way you be laying around every day and don't be doing nothing. Boy, I can't. You don't be consistent for nothing. Remember last week you said you're gonna start working out. You went to that gym 2 times and didn't go back. Mom, can I play football this year? Boy, last year I put you in basketball and your ass quit. The year before that I put you in soccer and your ass quit. Boy, you a quitter. You ain't wasting my motherfucking money. You like, mama don't think I'm shit. Daddy don't think I'm worth a damn, do we? So if you don't know your parents, you don't know what they've accomplished in life, you don't know how often they fail, you don't know their lack of consistencies, you don't know that, you don't know none of that shit. To you, this person is the end all be all. So them believing in you is every damn thing. You don't know they're a loser they damn self. And they only can see you being a loser because they ain't did shit. You don't know that they fail all the time too. You don't know their failures. You don't know that stuff. So to you, their opinion of you is everything. The older you begin to get, you start realizing everybody mess up. Everybody wish they were somewhere that they're not. Everybody has failed somewhere in their life, whatever you want to call failure. Nobody has all the answers. So nobody's opinion of you should be that end all be all. But when you're a child, your parents' opinion of you is everything. And if you think your parents think you ain't shit, because to you, they the shit. They do everything right? Like, but they don't. They got, I promise you now, by the time you get old enough to realize who your parents are, it's not that you won't love them, but you will begin to question why the hell you ever cared what they thought. They was broken too. They worry about what you think. Everybody worry about what somebody think. Everybody trying to figure it out. I promise you, yo. And you'll go through life thinking you got to satisfy these people, that you got to appeal and be something, that be and measure up to something. When a parent should raise their child to know this: I love you as much as I've ever loved you the day I first heard about you. From the first day I saw you, I've loved you as much as I could ever love you. You do not have to earn my love, son or daughter. Now I'm just getting to know you. The love I have for you is all I'm ever gonna have, son or daughter. That's not something for you to earn. It's just like the love you have for your parents is all you ever had and all you will ever have. It's just you getting to know them. I don't love my child more today than I did yesterday. I know them more today than I did yesterday. The love ain't going nowhere. Do you disrespect your child? No, you teach them and you raise them up. You build them until they become someone worthy of respect. Until they become somebody worthy of respect, you give it anyway. That's your future self. You give your child respect because you're showing them how the world should treat them. If you disrespect your own child, they're not going to think the world should respect them at all. Your home is their first world, family. So the way you treat them is how they learn they should be treated. Do you understand? So if you talk down to them, treat them any kind of way, if you talk women, if you talk down to your sons, treat them any kind of way, they're going to end up with an overly toxic woman who talks down to them and treat them any kind of way, and they'll go for it. They'll think it's okay. I'm telling you now, because it won't be a alarm to them on why they're being spoken to that way. Now, if you got a little boy who was raised by their mother and the mother never spoke that type of stuff to them, never talked down to them like that, if they get with a girl who talked to them like that, it's going to be like, yo, why are you talking to me like that? They're going to know that it's not worthy of them. But if this is what they heard before, yo, that's going to be common for them. They're not going to know that's a red flag that this woman is talking to them like that, calling him out his name. His mama did it. He dating his mama. He ain't going to know. And if you as a man treat your daughter like that, she's not going to know. So like, you guys understand that the way we teach our children isn't with words, it's with how we act in front of our children and how we treat our children. So when we start seeing our children grow up, the people in the world today grow up and act out the same things they acted that was acted out on them in the household, now we call that toxic behavior in the relationship, because the parents still use emotions to run the household. If they're mad, everybody got to know it and everybody got to walk on eggshells. Listen, man, your parents, us as parents, family, we should be the stable people in the home. We should be the constant, the people who children can trust every day to be the same, that we're not going to be mad today for no reason. You know what I'm saying? All sad today for no reason. They have to walk on eggshells before they come talk to us. They don't know how we're going to respond because we're so unpredictable. They don't know if we can handle certain things. I wonder if mom's okay so I can go ask her something, because mom, are you okay? Because they see mom over here crying in the corner all the time, so fickle. I'm telling y'all, if you guys are so emotionally tore up like this, you are going to cause your children to have to pick a side between mama and daddy, even if you never asked them to. The moment that they see mama crying like that, they're going to be mad at daddy just because mama crying like that, because daddy made mama cry. It doesn't matter if daddy actually did something to make mama cry. If mama saw that as a reason to cry, if mama's highly sensitive and didn't check her emotions and why she's upset and it's overboard, then now she's crying for no reason, for not something that the husband did. So now it's just, you made mommy cry. I'm mad at you. You must have done something wrong because mommy's crying. Right? Now imagine the man did that. Every time y'all didn't get along, or say you let him down in a way you didn't know, as a mother, as a woman, as a wife, and now he's crying in front of the baby, right? And the baby's like, "What's wrong? It's that mama made daddy sad." Like, you made daddy sad? You hurt daddy? And we sit here with our emotions, like mad at each other in front of the children. They see us stomping around each other. They have to choose sides. And a lot of times it's going to be with their own ego. This making sense, family? This is why we grow up and become people who emotionally terrorize. We see it done in our home, and we don't learn to regulate our emotions and deal with things from a rational standpoint. Okay, deal with things from a consequential standpoint. What are the consequences of the actions with nature, not what mama and daddy gonna do to you? Too many of us as children was just afraid that mama and daddy was gonna find out and get us. Not that the action itself was wrong. Why is it wrong to bully? Not because mama and daddy gonna beat your ass. It's a deeper reason than that. Why is it wrong to lie? Not because you're gonna get a whooping. It's a deeper reason than that. When you only raise your children to know they just gonna have to see you if they do these things, and you don't tell them why it's bad. When they get grown and they don't have to see you for that shit no more, they just gonna do it because you never said it was wrong. You never taught them it was wrong because you did it. Like a lot of times they saw you doing it, so it was more like a when I get old enough, I'm gonna do it. It's only wrong because I'm a child. When I get old enough, I'm gonna do it. Do you understand? You have to show them like the consequences of actions, family. In everything that you do, there's a consequence. How do you want your life to look? If nobody is looking, you doing that thing is still going to be bad. If nobody's looking, you doing that thing is still going to be good. This is life, family. Do you understand? I'm not going to continue this on a long time. I'm not really feeling that way. I just want to go ahead and get number 3 out there, and for you guys to look at it, um, you know, converse about it, chat about it. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna ask this question now, and we can do some Q&A as well before I end. All right, but now put a 1 through 3. If you had a parent who did any of these things to you, put a 1. If you had a parent who you still unsure, put a 2. And if your parent did none of these things to you, put a 3. I want to see that now. If you definitely have saw these things in your parents, put a 1. If you're unsure, put a 2. And if you know you've never seen this in your parents, put a 3. Sib says 1. So yes, Sib, you were raised by an emotional terrorist. Not doesn't mean she's a bad person. Okay. 1. I'm seeing a lot of 1s. So far, I'm seeing nothing but 1s. I see a 12 from Life is Weird, but that may be a mistake there. I see nothing but 1s. Wow. From both parents, Sabrina says. Wow. Can you guys see how this can dictate how you behave in a household? Even with your own children, how you can recreate these cycles and think it's okay to do these types of things with your child? Wow, mom and dad, Kip says. I'm getting so many 1s. No one is putting anything outside of that. So our parents emotionally raised us, right? They were so emotionally invested, man, right? They made us feel like we had to earn their love and make them proud of us and amount to who they wanted us to be, right? When life is about you fulfilling your destiny. Your parents should raise you up to have the courage to go be you unapologetically, whatever that may look like, and create your own standards based on the consequences that come behind your actions. When you do something, you ask them, are you proud of what you did? Why did you do that? What was you expecting to happen from that? What was your intent? Child, what do you mean intent? Intent was what was the reason that you did that? What did you want to see happen when you tripped that little boy? I wanted to see him fall. Why? Oh, I didn't want to see him fall. I wanted to see him trip up because people do that as a joke. Also, you were kidding. So you wanted to see people laugh. Okay, but the person that you tripped, they would be getting laughed at. So would you like to be the one being laughed at? Well, no, certainly not. So if someone tripped you and everyone laughed, you wouldn't want to be that guy, right? No. Well, next time you go to trip somebody, think about the whole picture because we're peepholes. Us as parents are supposed to broaden our children's awareness. They don't have much awareness. All they know of is themselves. The world is only them. They only feel their own pain, their only inspirations, their only their fear. They only feel what they want. A child only know if they're hungry, if they're cold. They ain't caring nothing about nobody else. So when they start making mistakes, it's not because they're evil. When you do it, it is because you know other people are in this world other than you, and you still making selfish ass decisions. Your job is to teach your child to broaden their awareness, family, to know that it's not just them. So some things that you do that you feel is okay, you got to think about the other side as well. You got to think about other people as well. When you trip that guy, somebody gonna trip you. Trust me. Or that guy may turn around and hit you upside your head. Some people don't like to play like that. And now you're gonna be in a fight. And when they ask, why did y'all fight? The guy gonna say, dude tried to trip me for no reason. I wasn't even bothering him. And you're gonna be trying to think, well, I was just playing, but that ain't how he took it. You see, and now see, because you don't think. So when you raise your child to think more, they start saying, okay, now I can see. They start thinking about the decisions before they make them. Do you understand? Because they trying to think about the consequences now. How will this read in everybody? How's other people going to take what I'm saying? Are you guys understanding? This is why many of us can insult somebody with someone who looks just like them standing beside us. Call somebody fat when you got a fat friend. Call somebody broke when you have a friend who's not well off, right? Call somebody stupid when you have a friend who's not that intelligent as well. And now you're wondering why your friend upset with you. Well, I didn't insult you, friend. Yeah, but you definitely insulted that person without considering me. And it tells me what you think a lot about me. Because sometimes we got to think about how far the ripples of our decisions go. Okay. So the more that you increase your awareness, the better of a person that you should overall be. You understand? The more that you learn the damage that you're causing, I promise you, it's like when you pinch somebody. If they say that hurt, you're supposed to let go. You're supposed to stop because now you are aware that you're causing a uncomfortable sensation inside of them. To you, it may be comfortable. To them, to you, you may like it. You may be rubbing somebody. You may be touching somebody in a way that makes you feel good. When they tell you it don't feel good to them, then you have to consider that they exist, right? And take that. And listen, family, it's not just you. So even the same way, fellas, you could be looking at a woman, man, and thinking that she's the most beautiful thing in the world. To her, she could be feeling fear with those same looks you giving her. And if you have low awareness, you will walk up to her anyway. You will try and talk to her anyway, because you can't sense that this woman does not want to be spoken to because you have low awareness. Do you understand? Is this making sense, family? I'm hoping it does. So as parents, our whole job is to sit our children down, talk with them, teach them, elevate their mind, expand their awareness so they can make better decisions from what they are aware of, family. Okay? Sometimes you'll sit down with your child and you'll learn something in that conversation. It's not about just you teaching the whole time. Like the universe is the greatest teacher. Sometimes your children came to teach you something. Sometimes they did. Okay? Don't be so arrogant, family, that you can't learn from your child, man. I'm telling you, my children taught me a lot. My life changed every time I had my child. Every time I had another child, my life changed even more insight. So I can say my children taught me everything that I know. I am the man I am because of my children. Okay? Yes, you're right. These children are not stupid. They are very intelligent. So let's take the time and pour into them, family. That's your future self. Okay? They're only going to be as great as you invest, as much as you pour into them. That's all they're going to have. Okay? It's your human being. It's your person. It's your human being. And we be out here trying to judge other people and our own kids ain't right. You got your own human beings to worry about. Y'all be out here worried about other people when you got your own human beings to worry about, your own kids. Y'all be saying, go worry about your own wife, go worry about your own family. You know, y'all got your own kids, your own human beings right now, probably somewhere buried in a damn phone, being manipulated when you can go sit down with them and fix this today. You got your own little kids, you got your own human beings, your future selves, and you can correct this today and start saying, you know what, I have been, emotionally raising you. And it's time to create some structure. And I want you to work with me. Okay, I know that You know, the way we've been going, it's how it's been. So you're not used to anything new, but work with me as I try to do something new with you. Okay. How are you as a child? Are you happy? Are you happy with how I'm parenting you? Are you happy with the current life conditions? Are you happy in your journey as a child? Talk to your child, find out who they are and where they are. Is there anything that you want to talk to me about how I've treated you in the past? Anything. Let your child talk to y'all. Stop being afraid of accountability and running from stuff. Getting mad at somebody when they upset, when they don't like something that you did. We get mad at them because we don't want to deal with it. Even our own children. That's sad. Open the table up for discussions, family. Okay? And listen to them. Listen to them. If you ain't willing to work with your children, you're not willing to work with no man or no woman. I'm telling you now, your children should be the most valuable thing in the world to you. And if you're not willing to go sit down and get and humble yourself with your child, it ain't no damn way in the world you can do this with no husband or wife. I'm telling you now, you got too much ego, too much pride, you're too self-centered. There's no damn way. If you can't be vulnerable and humble yourself for your future self, I'm telling you now, it's a wrap. And you really do need some therapy. I'm serious, yo. That's it for today, family. I love you all. Again, not to discourage, but to encourage, not to tear down, but to uplift. Okay. Be evolution. Be the change that you want to see. No candle loses its flame from lighting another. And if you were to ever find yourself in the middle of chaos, it is in that chaos that you find yourself. And you will never cross the ocean until you have the courage to leave the shore. Have the courage, family, to leave the shore. Peace.